Yo, guys, podcast. Captain Weed. Tell me what up.
What's good, bro?
What's good? What's good? How's everything?
Chilling, man. How you?
Chilling, chilling. So let's get it, man. What we talking?
Um, Today I was just posing a question of if we're not going to use statistics to make decisions, then what are we going to use? Far too often I see people saying that our statistics are outdated or it's not applicable for this reason or that reason, and I just get frustrated with that type of thinking because if you want to try to understand something, you want to understand it from a scientific perspective, I would say, um, which is charting data points, paying attention to uh, things that you write down, like real tangible things. I just don't understand why people would prefer to use their own personal experience that is so small as opposed to using statistics, which literally applies to every other aspect of their lives. It's just annoying to me. So we just see people. We to look at the statistics with the single fathers doing better than single mothers, or we look at the statistics of black fathers being actually present, and they'll say, "Oh, that shit is like 5 years old," and it's like, okay, well, where's your data? I just to me to me it's just like it's just not even like a deep topic. It's just like to me it's just I could be real passionate about it, and maybe earlier today I was, but right now, just to me, it's just like I don't understand how people who don't. I don't understand how people with the minds like that who are just live on a whim when um everything around you is based off of data and statistics. We talked about this in medicine. There's so many other fucking avenues, market research, where they choose to put a product placement. There's so many other things that is based off of research and data and statistics. But then when it comes down to something like this, for some reason, it's like not wise to use it. So I just want to know why. Why? Why can't we use that? And what do you suggest that we use other than that? Do you believe that everybody should just live according to what happens to them and that they should just, I don't know. What do you think, bro?
I think it's interesting because I wholeheartedly agree with you. I think it's interesting that you brought up people using anecdotal experiences. It's kind of you know um, it's not intelligent to just utilize your own personal experiences and trying to understand things on a greater scale. I even, me and you, Ty, a lot of the things that we discuss, people attributed to us probably having that personal experience within our lives. And it couldn't be further from the truth. A lot of the things that I talk about, the things that the average man, I'm not saying I'm not average, I'm just saying a lot of the things that we discuss that men actually experience doesn't mean that I go through them personally. So, you know, as a mature thinking adult, you have to be able to separate yourself and not take things personally to get a clear cut understanding of how people other than yourself are affected, right? Um, and at least when we do speak, we're not speaking about personal experiences. We're telling you this is the data. Also, too, let's use the whole black fathers are deadbeats example. We didn't say anything when we heard what black women had to say about black fathers, right? Even with the personal experiences of just my life and just seeing my friends and acquaintances and me not knowing any deadbeat black fathers, I still listen to what the majority was saying. The majority was saying black fathers are deadbeats. Black fathers are leaving their kids, they're abandoning their kids. And I believed it because that's what the majority was saying until I looked at the data. So now with the data in my hand, I was able to present the actual facts to the people. And then I was getting pushback. I was getting, you know, I was encountering situations where people were just using their personal experiences and not actually countering what we were saying with their own data. So that is a, you pose a very important question, Terry. It's, if not data, then what are we doing? What are we using to understand how things are, and what we can do to actually make a change? A lot of times when we talk about these statistics, we're trying to understand them, and not just understand them, but also come up with some solutions to the best of our abilities. So I don't know, bro. If people don't really use data, and I think people with that lack accountability, people that have victim mindsets, when you point out the things that they can be doing to change things, they typically are not welcoming, because change, it's hard. Change takes discipline. Change takes a certain type of mindset to overcome. And I think people who are in unfavorable situations, a lot of times they're there because of lack of willingness to actually do the work. So I think this proves more to me, uh, than this just gives me more understanding on why people are the way they are, and why they won't be able to change the situation.
I agree. I just think that is a very stupid mindset to believe that your experience is all that you need to get through life. I think smart people learn from other people. I think smart people learn from other people's mistakes, and I think that smart people also know that the world is bigger than them and that they're only a small part of a whole. So you look at your experiences and you can say, okay, I might be a part of this subset or this group of people or this percentage, but there are others that do exist. And that could give you a better understanding of the things around you. That's pretty much all I have to say about that. I just posed a question. The common sense is always the ones that come for us with all this other dumb shit. If you're not going to
And you,
use statistics, if you're not going to use statistics, what the fuck are you using to determine how you're going to navigate your life and things like that? Because if you're just using based off of how you feel, this is why a lot of us are the way they are. We are.
and you know what's crazy? I don't mind, talking and being in company of people who disagree with me, if they have a healthy approach to trying to understand why things are the way they are. This is why we do what we do, bro. We're trying to understand why. Like, for instance, a lady just put out a stat, right? Uh, Gay women have higher divorce rates than gay men, and gay women also have higher divorce rates than heterosexual women. Automatically, when people hear that, sometimes they might say, "Hey, uh, that means that women are traumatized when they were in relationships with men and they took their bad habits, so now it's affecting women." Even when men are not part of the equation, women tend to leave, right, on higher levels than when two men are together. Does that mean that men are more likely to be willing to suffer for the greater good of a relationship or for the greater good of a community? I mean, because a lot of times when the data points to specific points that might leave people in unfavorable lights or positions, they tend to get defensive. So this makes me want to dig deeper, Tyree, to understand. Like, another thing that I brought up when we were talking about this, some topics on the podcast. I said, why are women able to get over breakups and divorce quicker than men? Is it because of adaptation? Is it because of evolution? Women had to be able to move from man to man to survive. Like, I'm trying to just figure out why. I'm not here to judge or villain or vilify. I just want to understand why. And this is what this podcast is about. It's about having an understanding and coming to the understanding and conclusion through data, social science, understanding that people who are smarter than both of us did more work, that are more educated in these topics. They did the research, and we're reading this research, and we're seeing what they put and what they publish, and we're utilizing that to bring to conversation. So I don't understand why people can't, be respectful of the data so that they can have a better understanding of why they do what they do, why other people do what they do. So we can have a more respectful sense of what a relationship is supposed to be like. So, But I think that was a good question, Tyree. If not data, what the fuck are we using? It's just a bunch of different people just giving their opinions. So,
Yeah. Well, that's all I wanted to ask. That's it for me.
Tom, if not data, let me ask you, if not data, then what, Tom? What are you doing?
I don't base anything off of just how I feel. I realize that I can be fooled, and I realize that my perspective can be skewed. So I don't base everything just off of one. I use my one situation and add it to a bunch of other situations, and I then come to a determination or conclusion. That's how I do things. I don't expect everyone to do it that way. I'm not saying that my way is perfect, but I believe that you should try to have a sort of educated or systematic approach to trying to understand anything. That's any subject, anything. It could be relationships, it can be the opposite sex, it can be math. There's a systematic way to go about understanding things. And one of those things is collecting data and looking at that data and trying to understand what that data is telling you.
Yeah, yeah, I agree, bro.
So yeah,
We're gonna continue to use
yeah,
data. We're gonna continue to, explore and research and dig deeper and use respected data points and you know solidify sources to prove our points and to learn more and to educate ourselves and our viewers. So that's what we're going to continue to do. That's that.
that's a fact. Yeah, I'm out of here, man. That's it for me.
Last podcast, media, my boy Taria Costa. That's all you got to say, bro. That's it.
That's it.